Alright, so reviewing 4.1 and 4.2 today. So 4.1 was on translations. Okay, which is again just moving up, down, left, or right. And so we could have, well, there was one thing that we didn't go over a lot. It does pop up every once in a while. So it would ask like about this like vector. So we're going to start at the point and go toward the arrow. So we'd have to go, down and then to the right, or you could go right and then down. It really doesn't matter. But what it would want you to say for, and they usually ask for the vector in component form. So remember it has these type of brackets. And it's just like, what did you do to get from the point to the arrow? And so we went down, 1, 2, 3. Down is the y direction. So we put -3 where the y would be if you thought of it as a coordinate. And we went 2 in the positive x direction. Okay, so it's just important that you start at the end that doesn't have the arrow, and you go and you finish where the arrow is. It's like kind of giving you like direction. Go this way. If you were going to write this same like thing as a translation rule, we typically say, okay, whatever point you start with, we're going to do x plus 2, y minus 3. So regardless of how it's written, component form or a translation rule, it means the same thing. Go positive 2 in the x direction, go -3 in the y direction. Okay, and so you have to graph some, and it's just add, so if we did this translation rule, if you had like -4, 3, and 2, 8, and 5, -1. Okay, well, it just means you're gonna add 2 to all the x's, and you're gonna subtract 3 from all the y's to get to your new point. So -4 plus 2 is -2. 3 minus 3 is 0. 2 plus 2 is 4. 8 minus 3 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. -1 and -3 is -4. And then put that on the graph. Okay? So translations should be pretty straightforward. Okay? Alright. And then the other thing we talked about were reflections. So reflections, the thing that you can remember is, I wanted to put the other thing first. It's like a flip over the x-axis, over the y-axis, over like whatever. But then also reflections are the same distance from the reflection axis. So reflecting over the x-axis and y-axis, there's 6 different things you could reflect over. So we could reflect over the x-axis, we could reflect over the y-axis, we could reflect over the line x equals some number, y equals some number, y equal x, and y equal negative x. So I think the first four are relatively simple. So just remember that if you had the line x equals 2, you go over to, and that's the line that you would reflect over. And you would just say how many spaces is it to that line, and then do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and then for a y equal line, we have y equal 1. On the y-axis, go to 1. And that's the line that you would reflect over. Okay, so, and again, just how many spaces to the line, do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so if you had a point like down here, well, I gotta go 2 up, so I go 2 on the other line. So if we said this is A and then this was A prime. Okay, on this one, if you had a point here, so you'd go 1, 2, 3 to the blue line, 1, 2, 3 to the other side. Okay, same thing with the x-axis, y-axis, just count to the axis. Okay, so these last two are a little bit harder, but so whatever point you start off with, if you reflect it over y equals x, then the new coordinate is just them backwards. So if you had 4, negative 2, when you reflected it, you'd have negative 2, 4. Okay, and then y equals negative x, it's backwards again, but negative. So if we had 4, negative 2, I reverse it, but the negative tells me to also switch the signs. So if it was positive, it's now negative. If it was negative, it's now positive. Okay. The y equal x line, that's not a good one. It's too far off. Goes through the center, but it goes up like that. And y equals negative x. Looks like that. Okay, so I really don't feel like these transformations, if you work at them a little bit, they shouldn't be very difficult to do. Okay, so it's not very many problems. Just look on Canvas to make sure what problems you're going to do on the worksheet, and we'll go from there. So remember, you will have, I don't know if I said it already, but a quiz on Friday over sections 4, 5, and 6. Excuse me. Yeah, 4, 5, and 6. Sorry. So, this is 1 and 2 that we're reviewing, but you can also start to review 4, 5, and 6 for a quiz on Friday. All right. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.